Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of Allegheny County Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Councilman Macy, I believe you have a statement.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I'd just like to have a moment of silence for Sean Gansky, who was shot and killed in McKeesport, and also Charles Thomas, who is healing at home. Your thoughts and prayers will be greatly appreciated, not only for them, but for the officers in McKeesport, as well as the city of McKeesport. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please be seated. Jared, please take roll.
Ms. Bennett.
Here.
Mr. Bekowski. Here. Mr. DeMarco.
Here.
Mr. Dewar.
Here.
It's involved in it.
Ms. Filiaggi.
Here.
Mr. Fatulis. Ms. Hallam.
Here.
Mr. Klein. Mr. Macy.
Here.
Ms. Nacaretti-Chapkus.
Here.
Mr. Palmieri.
Here.
Mr. Paul Messina.
Here.
Ms. Prizzio.
Here.
Mr. Walton. Here. President Katina.
Here.
We have 14 members present at the moment.
Thank you. We're going to switch up the order of proclamations and certificates. We're going to begin with 12572-23.
That's a proclamation honoring and congratulating Michael J. Sully for being awarded the Distinguished Service Award, sponsored by Councilmember Katina.
Mike, want to join us? Join me? Okay.
I'm doing the heavy lift. How you been, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So I've known Mike for a while now, and honestly, I can tell you that not a day goes by that I don't learn something from Mike, to be honest. And he keeps me laughing all along the way, giving me all of this information that helps me learn. I never realized how convoluted a process the assessment in Allegheny County actually are, and I've learned so much from Mike going through all of it with me, taking the time to go over with all of it with me, because like I said, it's such a convoluted process and very, very complicated, and you sort of have to go over it repeatedly to understand what the common level ratio is, what the step board is, and basically all the ins and outs of the entire process. So I give kudos to Mike for doing that with me, because God help him, because I've asked a million questions about it, and he's never gotten short with me. He's never gotten curt with me. He's always gotten me the information that I've always wanted to know, but probably forgotten in prior lifetimes. So we'll begin with the proclamation honoring Michael J. Sully. Whereas, to give service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is truly sincerity and integrity. That quote by Douglas Adams personifies Mike Sully's dedication to the real estate business for over 40 years. And whereas Mr. Sully has been in the real estate business since 1977, he has owned his own real estate business, Century 21 Sully Real Estate, and has been a sales manager for premier real estate companies in the metropolitan Pittsburgh region. And whereas over the years, Mr. Sully has worked passionately as an authorized representative for property owners in assessment appeals before the Board of Property Assessment Appeals and Review, where he previously held vice chair of that board, and Mr. Sully has heard appeals and was intimately involved in a court order reassessment of Allegheny County in 2001 and 2012. And whereas as a state certified real estate instructor since 1980, Mr. Sully continues to teach lawyers, appraisers, certified personal accountants, and real estate licensees. He has taught real estate classes at many local schools and colleges such as Penn State, Greater Allegheny, the Realtors Educational Institute, and Community College of Allegheny County. And whereas, as former president of the Realtors Association of Metropolitan Pittsburgh, Mr. Suley recently was awarded the Distinguished Service Award for his outstanding service to RAMP, which is, like I said, is the Realtors Association of Pittsburgh. He's been an outspoken critic of the current property tax assessment in Allegheny County and has worked alongside RAMP leadership to address the inequalities in the system and be an advocate for all of the taxpayers of Allegheny County. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council President Pat Katina, do hereby recognize Mike Suley, CRB, CRS, GRI, for his dedication to the real estate business and commend his efforts on behalf of taxpayers. This council congratulates him for his more than 40 years of service. Congratulations, Mr. Suley.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mike has asked me to present a few words, and I promise I will keep it short. My name is John Petrak. I serve as the Executive Vice President of the Realtors Association of Metropolitan Pittsburgh. I've known Mike for quite a few years, almost 43 he's been involved in the industry. And despite the fact that we sit on different sides of the political aisle, Mike and I have always been able to work well together. And this proclamation also evidences this. Mike has always been centered on the real estate consumer, which is coincidentally reflected in our association's vision statement. We vigorously advocate on behalf of our members, the industry, and the real estate consumer. Mr. Suley has exhibited consumer advocacy throughout his career, from insisting that we change our association name so that consumers could more easily find us, to kickstarting the Newcomers Tax campaign in conjunction with the association many years ago, to his strong advocacy and support of reforming the CLR calculation. Mike epitomizes the Realtor Vision statement of consumer advocacy. Excuse me a minute. It is my pleasure to share this moment honoring my old friend, Mike Suley.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you, all of you. As you know, I'm a man of many words, but I'll keep it brief tonight. I think 3 or 4 of you have said, and Councilman DeMarco at one point said, Mike, I love your passion, but could you keep it simple? And Councilman DeMarco, what did I say? I'll keep it at an 8th grade level. That's how this CRL stuff. But I want to thank you so much. My wife is here, Mary. Hi, Mary. And the mother of my grandchildren, Laura. Hey, Laura. And Dawn Parasolic. I call her my boss at the Realtors School. I teach pre-licensing there. But thank you so much. I still have a passion. For some reason, I ended up being the ghost of assessments past, present, and future. And I also want you to know I've worked 2.5 years with 2 other people, Attorney John Silvestri and Barbara Stern, our statistician. We worked pro bono just to try to explain this common level ratio. I remember talking to Councilman Macy a year or so ago. I called him and he said, what the heck is a common level ratio? And people are tuning into this. There's still some litigation, but you, all of you, did it with giving people that second chance to appeal. My phone lit up after that. And if any of you have any questions, you need anything, I want council to do me one more favor because you came through for the taxpayer. I'd like to have my picture taken with you.
Head up.
Is that all right?
Yep.
And I'm going to bring my family.
You're going to bring your family? Okay.
Come on. You sure? Do you want to get up here?
They're going to be free.
You coming up?
Oh, do we, I don't, should we?
Give your phones back to somebody so you can. Just what, text on.
I'll send it.
What?
Yeah.
Everybody in there?
Wait 1 sec, hold on.
Give me,
one sec.
step into the middle.
It's here.
Make sure we're all in it.
Smile.
Okay, right here. All right, everybody, 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Fist bumps, everybody.
Hey, Mike.
I know, the buzzer didn't go off, right?
Oh, God, yeah, thank you.
No problem. I've done the same thing.
I've done that so many times.
Right?
I'll be back. All right. We ready?
Before proceeding, please let the record reflect that Mr. Klein is now with us via teleconference. Next up is 12570-23, a proclamation honoring the heroic actions of Allison Forgy in saving the life of a student, sponsored by Councilmember Nakaradi Chapkus.
Hello, good evening. I have 2 proclamations here, and I'm excited to share this story. So the 2 individuals that I have standing beside me are teachers in the Woodland Hills School District. And there was an article that was presented in a local paper, and actually in the regional paper, that said, everyday heroes. And these individuals are just that. So, as you know, teachers really shape who we are. They shape our lives, and I'm sure that we all have a special teacher that we think about till this day that has made a marked impression in our lives. And you know, one of the interesting things that I came across with the U.S. Department of Education, when they talk about teachers, is that they are the backbone of our society. And they say this: teachers are the backbone of our democracy, fostering curiosity and creativity, building skillful individuals, and strengthening informed citizens. A great teacher in every classroom is one of the most important resources we can provide students, our next generation of leaders. And you know what? They also save lives. These 2 individuals did that. So I will read their proclamation. And I'm going to put them side by side because there's just a small difference between them. A proclamation honoring the heroic actions of Amber Furman and Allison Forgy. Whereas Allegheny County is always grateful for the contributions of our educators who make a difference in the lives of our children. And whereas 2 of our own heroes, Mrs. Allison Forgy, who is a teacher at Turtle Creek Elementary STEAM Academy and has been a teacher in the Woodland Hills District for 18 years, and Mrs. Amber Furman, who is a special education teacher at Turtle Creek Elementary STEAM Academy and has been a teacher in the Woodland Hills School District for 13 years. And whereas on January 18th, 2023, it was the 90th day of school, so the teachers and other staff were dressed in the best of their 90s gear. But that wasn't why they were celebrating. And whereas last week, Mrs. Forgy and Mrs. Furman saved the life of a choking student, which occurred during a snack break in Mrs. Forgy's classroom. Whereas Mrs. Forgy performed the Heimlich maneuver and remained calm, which was vital in saving the life of this first grade student. Mrs. Furman kept the other students in the classroom calm while helping Mrs. Forgy render aid to her student. And over in this proclamation, whereas the pair immediately jumped into action, and while Mrs. Forgy performed the Heimlich maneuver, Mrs. Furman kept the other students in the classroom calm, additionally helping Mrs. Forgy render aid to their first grader, which was crucial to the safety of all students. And whereas Allegheny County is a better place and thankful for heroes like Mrs. Forgy and Mrs. Furman and all of the other educators who are key to unlocking the limitless potential of our children, we are grateful for their dedication and commitment to the children that they teach. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council Member Michelle Nakaradi Chapkus, do hereby recognize the many teachers who make a difference in the lives of our children, but especially to Mrs. Allison Forgy and Mrs. Amber Furman for their heroic actions in saving the life of their student. Congratulations. This one is yours. This, oh. Would you like to say?
Thank you, and we're honored to be here.
Just thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to receive this, so thank you.
Well, we are honored to know you, and thank you so much for your dedication to our kids and make an impact in their lives. I'm sure hundreds and hundreds of students come across your classroom every year, and you're making a difference in all of them.
Thank you.
Let's get a picture. Okay. Do you want Adam to join, or you want to take it? You want, go just take it? Or- You're welcome to have family come up if you want that. There wasn't much. Adam, would you like to?
You guys want to get?
I think we're going to take ours too. We invite everyone.
We good? All here.
Everybody on me right here? Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I can't imagine. Thank you.
Oh, here, you can put these in here so that they,
Oh, okay.
or it might be switched.
No, we're good.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
The Westinghouse Academy football team was unable to be with us tonight, so the remaining proclamations will be read into the record. 12573-23.
A proclamation recognizing and congratulating Pittsburgh Westinghouse Academy football team on their 2022 season, sponsored by Councilmember Walton. 12574-23 is a proclamation recognizing and honoring the Carnegie Library of Homestead on the occasion of their 125th anniversary, sponsored by Councilmembers Klein and Macy. 12575-23 is a proclamation recognizing the week of February 6th through 10th as National School Counseling Week in Allegheny County, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina. 12576-23 is a proclamation recognizing Joseph Armbruster as a life member of Pleasant Hills Volunteer Fire Company, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Mary. 12577-23 is a proclamation recognizing Holiday Park Volunteer Fire Department on the celebration of 60 years protecting their residents, sponsored by Councilmember Nakaradi Chapkus.
Is there any public comment on any agenda item?
We did not have anybody sign up for an agenda item.
Okay. Approval of minutes?
We have none.
Okay. Presentation of appointments, 12567-23.
Approving the appointment of Bhavani Patel to the Minority Business Enterprise Advisory Committee for a term to expire on December 31st, 2024, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Now we'll go to appointment review, 12568-23.
Approving the appointment of Tanya Vokes to the Human Relations Commission of Allegheny County for a term to expire on December 31st, 2024, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Now we'll go to appointment review, 12569-23.
Approving the appointment of Leslie Paul Jamerson to the Human Relations Commission of Allegheny County for a term to expire on December 31st, 2024, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Appointment review as well on that one. Unfinished business, Committee on Appointment Review for the second reading, 12543-23.
Approving the reappointment of Thomas W. Weaver to the Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a term to expire on December 31st, 2025, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Councilwoman Nakaradi Chapkus.
Yes, President Katina. The Appointment Review Committee continued its meeting on January the 24th, 2023, and affirmatively recommended Thomas Weaver to the Agricultural Land Preservation Board.
Make a motion.
And I would like to make a motion for that, please.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Committee on Budget and Finance for the second reading, 12562-23.
A resolution of the County of Allegheny amending the Grants and Special Accounts budget for 2023, submission number 01-23, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Councilman Palmasina?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Budget and Finance Committee met on February 1st and affirmatively recommended this bill. I move for approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
I apologize, that has to be a roll call vote because it's a
Okay.
resolution.
Okay, roll call vote then. Sorry, Jared.
On the motion to approve, Ms. Bennett.
Yes.
Mr. Betkowski.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarco.
Yes.
Mr. Dewar.
Yes.
Ms. Filiaggi.
Yes.
Mr. Fatulis.
Yes.
Ms. Hallam.
Yes.
Mr. Klein.
Yes.
Mr. Macy.
Yes.
Ms. Nacarati Chapkus.
Yes.
Mr. Palmieri.
Yes.
Mr. Palmasina.
Yes.
Ms. Pritzio. Mr. Walton.
Yes.
President Katina.
Yes.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill passes.
Liaison reports. Are there any liaison reports this evening? Councilman DeMarco?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, today is Election Day in 3 Pennsylvania State House districts, House District 32, 34, and 35. I want to recognize the county workers that are out there working today, the workers that are over at the warehouse that are processing the mail-in and absentee ballots, as well as thank the citizens of Allegheny County who took it upon themselves and live in those districts to go out and vote today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilman Fatulis?
Yes, thank you. I think something had happened in Allegheny County that is wonderful for the people of this county that decide to run for office. Yesterday, the election division put the applications for petitions online, where you could actually don't have to drive to the city of Pittsburgh, find a place to park, because it's not that easy to park down here. You can just fill your name in, put your petitions on your computer, and print them as needed. I think that's such a wonderful thing that they've finally done, and I'm delighted. I'm not sure who's responsible, the administration, the election division. Tom Doerr?
Yes,
Well, I want
Councilman
to thank
Dewar.
whoever was responsible for that, because what a godsend. I had people call me up last week and ask me to pick some up for them. And I said, you know, I think you might be able to get them online as of next week. And sure enough, they showed up, and I think it's just a great thing. And I want to thank everybody for that. Thank you.
And Councilman Dewar, if I could just add on to here, I was also responsible for the 8.5 by 11 instead of 8.5 by 14. So thank you very much.
Anyone else?
You're welcome.
And just to remind people, as Councilman Macy has reminded me, that liaison reports are specifically supposed to be for where you serve as a liaison for a specific role or committee. So, very good. Thank you for reminding me, Councilman Macy. New business, ordinances and resolutions, 12578-23.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending Section 1007.11 of the County Administrative Code, codified in Chapter 5 of the County Code of Ordinances, Article 1007.11, to provide for an exclusion from the residency requirement for county employment for Allegheny County jail staff within the Allegheny County Bureau of Corrections, sponsored by Councilmembers Hallam and Bennett.
That will go to public safety, 12579-23.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the acceptance of the Allegheny Land Trust's offer to donate 43 parcels of land located adjacent to the county's North Park, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Committee on Parks, any new business?
We have none.
Okay, notification of contracts?
We have none.
Okay, we had someone sign up past the deadline. Does anyone object to let them speak?
Not at all.
Go ahead, Brian.
My name is Brian Englert, BRIANENGLERT, 710 Corbin Street, West Mifflin, PA. I'm a resident of Allegheny County. I'm also president of the County Jail Union. I want to thank you for making this proposal. I think it's very important. It's not unprecedented to say that we're in a staffing crisis in law enforcement across the country, specifically with jails. Currently, we are short 50 officers. This resolution would bring in qualified professionals already trained and working in correctional facilities outside the county into our facility. It would alleviate, I hope, immediately or quickly the staffing crisis we're facing. I can tell you based on January to June of 2022, there was almost 90,000 hours of overtime at the jail. That takes a toll on the mental health and physical health of all the officers working there. So if this ordinance and resolution passes, it will help get qualified corrections professionals working in other county jails such as Westmoreland and Washington down into our facility and working. And that would alleviate the staffing crisis that impacts all of our employees. So thank you very much for putting that forth. I would appreciate your support on it.
Thank you. No other comment?
That's it.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion is made second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Whoa.